because I'd heard labor could take forever and hospital food was terrible. Phone charger and backup battery. A change of clothes in case I got sweaty or dirty. A list of people to call after Matthew was born. My parents first, then Chase and a few other friends. I added a notebook to write down details I might forget later. I put the bag by my door so I could grab it fast. Every time my phone rang over the next few weeks, my heart jumped, thinking it might be Laura saying it was time. The call came at 2 in the morning when I was 39 weeks. Laura's voice was tight and controlled, not panicking but clearly in pain. She said her contractions were 5 minutes apart and getting stronger. I grabbed my bag and drove to her apartment. She was dressed and had her own bag ready by the door. I helped her down the stairs, stopping twice when contractions hit. She breathed through them, gripping the railing. We timed them in the car on the way to the hospital. 4 minutes apart now. The roads were empty at that hour. I drove carefully. No sudden stops or sharp turns. Laura kept her eyes closed between contractions. We didn't talk much. I parked in the emergency lot and helped her inside to the maternity ward check-in. The labor went on for 16 hours. They got Laura into a delivery room and set up all the monitors. Her sister showed up around 6 in the morning. The contractions got worse as the hours passed. Laura squeezed my hand so hard during the bad ones I thought she might break my fingers. I stayed next to the bed, getting her ice chips when she asked, helping her shift positions when her back hurt. The nurses came in regularly to check her progress. Centimeters dilated, effacement percentages, all these measurements I didn't fully understand. Around hour 12, Laura started crying, saying she couldn't do this anymore. Her sister and I both told her she was doing great, that Matthew would be here soon. I felt useless watching her in that much pain, but I stayed. I didn't leave the room except to use the bathroom once. Despite everything that had happened between us, despite all the lies and hurt, I was grateful to be there for this moment. She needed someone, and I was Matthew's father. That mattered more than our broken relationship. At 6:47 p.m., the doctor said it was time to push. 3 more nurses came in. Everyone got into position. Laura pushed for 40 minutes, exhausting herself with each contraction. Then suddenly there he was. The doctor held up this tiny wet person who immediately started crying. They put him on Laura's chest for a minute while they cleaned him off. 7 pounds 3 ounces, the nurse announced. Then she wrapped him in a blanket and brought him over to me. I held my son for the first time. He was so small, his face red and scrunched up, his fingers curled into fists. Something shifted inside me, this fierce protective love that came out of nowhere and hit me like a truck. I couldn't stop looking at him. Laura was crying, watching us from the bed. Her sister was crying too. The nurses were cleaning up and doing their job around us, but in that moment nothing else existed except this tiny person in my arms. Matthew Thomas, my son. Whatever mess Laura and I had made of our relationship, we'd created him. That was all that mattered now. The nurse brought over a clipboard with paperwork an hour after Matthew was born. I read through the acknowledgement of paternity form while Laura held our son against her chest. The legal language was dense, but the meaning was clear. By signing this, I was officially establishing myself as Matthew's father in the eyes of the state. Laura looked over at me, waiting to see what I would do. I picked up the pen and signed my name on the line. She signed her section too, and we both dated it. The nurse witnessed our signatures and took the clipboard back. That was it. Official and legal. We were Matthew's parents, regardless of what happened between us as a couple. The next 2 days in the hospital passed in a blur of diaper changes and feeding schedules. The nurses showed us how to swaddle Matthew properly, how to support his head, how to check if he was latched correctly during feedings. Laura and I took turns practicing each skill, while the nurses watched and corrected our technique. I was surprised by how easily we worked together when we focused on Matthew instead of our broken relationship. She would hand me a clean diaper at exactly the right moment,